Hello again. In this video I'm going to talk about the upcoming events down here in the basement as I build it up into a fish room. This is the 65. It's the first tank that I put down here. It's only got some tetras in it right now, but there's a new occupant in this tank, and he's right there. He's an apple snail, and I think I'm going to call him Alfred. And he's just been roaming almost since I put him in. Lots of algae on the glass right now. I only do maintenance on this tank every 2 weeks. I could probably go longer, but I do it every 2 weeks. So I got to scrub my glass and stuff, but it's good for him. So he's been in here a couple days, and we'll just let him acclimate. So I'm real close to having all the materials I need collected to get this rack going. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop a 2x4 down flat like this into these ridges. Okay, it's going to sit a little higher. That's okay. Certainly hope it's going to be okay. Then I'm going to run one upright right underneath it, tightly fit in between this space here, touching the bottom part of the bar right there. So you have a flat one on top, and you have an upright 2x4 making a T. I'll have them screwed into each other and plugged into these tightly. And then I'll make ribs, probably at least 4 of them, all the way along the 8-foot run. Then I'm going to come in with thick plywood on top of that, and drop it down and screw it into those braces. Then on the outside here, I'm gonna get some long self-tapping screws. I'm just gonna cover these with wood. They're gonna get covered up with wood so they look nice. Same with the ends here. Self-tap some wood over this and just sort of cover it up so when we stand back and we look at it, it's just gonna look like a nice piece of wood. The 2x4 will be a little taller, so it's gonna match up with the it should cover most of the plywood I'm going to have up here. Should cover it up nicely, make it look pretty level, and then I'll stain everything up like I've done here. It'll look like this. So that's coming, and a 75-gallon drill tank will go up here on the top. The reservoir tank I currently got, so 75 up top drilled. Then I have an undrilled 70-gallon in my kitchen. I'm using that as my reservoir for the 90-gallon. I'm going to replace that reservoir with pails, big garbage cans, fill them up with water, drop heaters down, and I'm going to put the gravel from the 70-gallon upstairs into those garbage cans, and drop a little stability in there and get them all cycled up as best I can. For new reservoirs, take up less room in my kitchen. That 70-gallon will go down here on the bottom rack. That will be set up exactly like I explained on the top rack to manage the weight. Then I will drill holes through the floor and run pipes from the 75-gallon up top down into the 70-gallon below. And it's going to be a big sump in a way, but it's also going to be another aquarium and or a holding tank. So the 70-gallon that's down here, when I get to babies and the babies need to be separated from their parents, I will put them down here to grow them out quickly. As well, when there's nothing in here, it will be a reservoir tank for all the big tanks down here. So I could shut off the sump, or I could do a water change up top, I could run them continuously. I could shut off the sump, do a water change up top, like I'm doing upstairs, and refill. But instead, what I'll do down here, I'm bumbling my words. Okay, so down here I'll just run it like a big sump. So it'll be a 75 gallon, but it'll actually have 140 gallons of volume. I'll keep fish densely stocked up here, but again, the water volume will be 145 gallons. So when I want to do water change, I'll do a 50% water change, 45% water change, whatever you want to call it, and I'll just shut the sump off, stop pumping water upstairs, completely drain the tank downstairs, completely fill the tank upstairs, treat it, let it sit for an hour, and then kick it. Let it sit, let it acclimate, let my bubbles gas off, turn it back on. Prime will have done its job by then. Fresh water is now circulating into the tank up here, and that's how I'm going to manage these two tanks. I think it's going to run a really, really nice system, and yeah, that's definitely what's going to happen. So there'll be two 4-foot tanks, one sitting here, one sitting here, and I'll still have 4 feet of length back that way on each shelf that I can use as well. And there's room behind, because these are really wide shelves. So the tanks are not even going to take up half the shelf, and I can put stuff behind. I can put a sump behind it as well. That might be the wiser thing to do. But, and then I can stick like an 8-foot tank down here. That'd be great. But I don't know if I can get an 8-foot tank down my basement stairs, to be honest. I think I'd have to quit at 6-foot tanks in this house. And, because the entrance to the basement is like, it's got turns and it's narrow, so. But my ceiling is pretty tall. I don't know. It's possible, maybe if it was a shallow, long tank, I might be able to do it. But I'm just mumbling on at this point. But that's basically what I've got in my head. I've got 75 gallon up top, 70 gallon down here, pipes, two drain pipes running between them. I'll probably put 500 gallon per hour, 600 gallon per hour sump pump on it, and yeah, I'll use the lower tank as a holding tank, and to increase the water volume for the 75 gallon up top, and then we'll play it by ear like that. I think it's going to be an interesting system. What I'm trying to do is not have to keep big reservoirs of water sitting doing nothing. I want to be able to treat my water for a little while before I enter it into my discus tanks. So 75 gallon is going to get heavily stocked with discus as well. In the corner over here, I have space, and I will build a rack, and I will get probably 2 to 3 30 gallons. Probably floor to ceiling, I might be able to put 3 30 gallons on there. Those will be breeding stations as well. And I've got some other space, but that will be basically those are this summer's goals. I want 3 more 30 gallon talls. And yeah, or square box, sort of 30 gallons would be nice, actually. Go deep front to back. I'll find something that fits in there nice. I'd like to get 3 of them, and yeah, we'll get those set up as breeding stations. And if my fish never turn out to breed, or there's something I just can't get it to happen, then all these smaller tanks will turn into like other fish tanks. So it's not a total waste. I'll just try other species in them. So But that's the direction I plan to go down here. And that's probably going to eat up my budget for the next couple months, getting all this done. So I've got a pile of wood collected. I've got a pile of wood like that one in my driveway too. So I should have enough wood now. And I do this on the cheap. I've been collecting, like, it's basically old, like, wood from job sites and stuff that's still good, but they're throwing it out. And my son just, oh, that's good wood, and he brings them home to me. And we've been collecting them up, so I can get all this done without spending $1,000 on wood. So we're almost there. I think I have enough material. Pretty sure I do. And yeah, once it's all up, it's gonna be pretty nice. It's gonna blend in. It's gonna blend all in with this, and it's gonna go that way with a rack of tanks. And then you come this way, and this will be all covered with that kind of wood too. And then I'll have the shelves, tanks, and then more tanks down here in the future. I can put 2 more 4-foots over here, and I can run 2 4-foots here. So that's probably what I'll do. I like the idea of an 8-foot tank, but honestly, it's better to use 2 4-foot tanks because, yeah, it gets hard to manage large tanks. So break them up. You can do more. You can put more. You can have more diversity. You have more space to move fish around if you're having problems. And 4-foot tanks are still pretty good. You can do a lot with them. So that's where we are for now. And if I do want an 8-foot tank, it's probably going to be a do-it-yourself, like, plywood tank, and I'd build it on the other side of my basement. But this laundry room is the smallest portion of my basement. I actually have a big run on the other side I could go crazy on too. But, you know, baby steps. Rome wasn't built in a day. So, for now, we'll build up this corner like this, like this. I might put up a stack of nano tanks along this wall with that switch. Could even stick some in the corner here. Section here I can put little stand of 5-gallon tanks up there. There's lots of space down here to have fun. Lots of space in this little room. So I've got years of multi-tank syndrome ahead of me. So there's an update on what's coming soon for the basement fish room. Stay tuned, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell icon, and I try to make about two videos a day. I typically keep them less than 10 minutes. This one's hitting 13, 14, so I'm going to cap it off here. May all your fish eat well and be healthy.